I know that when you left your Zoom call the other day after the game, you were pretty excited about being 2-0, mentioning it's the first time in your career. I mean, does that just the winning so far for you guys make it, a lot better, even when you might not be getting the targets or the numbers that you're accustomed to so far at this point in your career?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, and I'm gonna stick to it. As long as we're winning, I don't care. I mean, I feel like I don't have to have 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown every game. I mean, as much as the competitor, the person you are would love to. If we win, man, as long as we're winning, and not saying that's the only mediator, just saying wins help glorify anything, man. I mean, even that whole game was ugly and we still won. So winning cures it all, man. And when you lose, you have to look at those things that you did wrong, and you got to correct those things. Even when you win, you still have to do the same things, but winning just glorifies it all. And at the end of the day, as long as we're winning, that's ultimately why I really came.
Joe Rutter, Trib.
Yeah, hi, Eric. I know you've only played with him a short time, but what does having a fullback like Derek Watt mean to the offense, and especially when you're trying to close out wins and run the clock out?
It's dope, man. It's dope, especially just the fact that it's Derek, man. Derek, kind of like his resume throughout the league and playing against him throughout the league, man. Derek's a hard worker. So when he comes in a game and, we're trying to find ways to utilize him even more because it is complex when he comes into the game. It's complex when I come into the game. So the more we can continue to throw those curveballs at defenses, the more it benefits our offense. So I love Derek.
Mark Cabali, The Athletic.
Hey, Eric, I think a couple of weeks ago you said on social media that you love your role with the team. It's pretty hard to determine what that role is through 2 weeks. Can you give us a little peek in what that role might be and why you enjoy it so much?
We're winning, and I cause a lot of confusion. I mean, so if you watch or want to watch any of the 2 weeks, I might not even get targeted, but the fact that my presence is on the field causes a lot of confusion and other people are open. And ultimately, that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. And as long as my teammates are winning, as long as my teammates are getting yards, as long as my teammates are scoring touchdowns, I don't give a damn personally about what I do. So my role is you got to watch the game. You watch the game, you'll completely understand my role. You'll see the communication that people have when I'm on the field. You'll see how open the field is when I'm on the field. So I'm just happy to just be on the field.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Ebron, when we talked to Juju the other day, he said that you're the most significant trash talker he's ever been around. He's never seen anything like it. I was wondering, are you changing the way you trash talk, knowing that the stadiums are so much quieter? Are you louder? Are you softer? I mean, what is that like, trying to trash talk when there's not crowd noise to maybe cover it up?
I'm the same person every day. So for me, I have a lot of respect for a lot of people in this league. I have a lot of respect for everyone in this league because it's really hard to get to. But I don't play about mine, and that's just how I am. So you can't trash talk me. And, I mean, mentally you'll never get to me. I simply just want to address because I don't play trash talk. So I know where I stand with mine. I know what kind of person I am. So if you try to trash talk me, man, out of friendship, that's always more fun. But when you try to trash talk me and think that you can ultimately beat me or win, that's pointless.
Mike Prizzuta, DVE.
Eric, the appreciation of winning above all else, is that something that
young
players have to learn as they grow in the league? And is that something that you had to learn as you grew in the league? Because you guys are judged on numbers.
I didn't win a lot when I came into the league. So I value winning a lot more than a lot of people might. So you have to understand that getting wins in this league is hard. I mean, sometimes you win by a last-second field goal. Sometimes you win by 10 points. That's a blowout in the NFL. 10 points is a blowout. So, you got to understand that winning in this league is hard. And by any means, if you could come by it, but above all else, by any means, always get the win.
Jim Colony, the fan.
Yeah, Eric, you must know Houston pretty well coming from that division. But when you look at him this year, what kind of changes do you see in the Texans defense from what you've seen in the past?
Yeah. Not only do I know Houston well, I train with him and I live there. So, yeah, I know him very well. And they switched their defensive coordinator up. So it's going to be interesting this year. The guy, I mean, their defensive staff, some of them still been there, so they kind of do some of the same things. But it'll be interesting. They don't have the same personnel. Every year is different. So I'm just looking forward to another great Sunday, another great battle, another great opportunity to ultimately get that win. So hopefully, because if we don't, I can't go back to Houston. I got to hear it all damn year.
Follow up from Brian Batko, Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Eric, wanted to ask you about when you faced the Steelers last year, they held you to 2 for 16, I think. Just what do you remember about that game matching up with Devin Bush? Was he a guy that you guys tried to, get mismatches with, given that he's a younger guy and hasn't really covered NFL tight ends?
Yeah, that game I probably played only 3 snaps. So for me to have 2 catches for 60 yards is a blessing. I remember they benched me that game. Just simply because of the disagreements we were going against with me and some of the coaches and things of that nature. But my ultimate battle that game was what I wanted was Minka, and I didn't get that. I didn't get the opportunity because of some disagreements. But I knew about Devin Bush, and ultimately he's just gotten better from me studying him last year, and me coming here and running routes the way I do, and knowing the game of football the way I do. I ultimately help him and Vinny just try to adapt and be accustomed to route recognition and what tight ends like to do. So hopefully just making my guys better at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's all about winning.
All right. Last question is going to be a follow-up for Mark Cabali.
Eric, what have you learned from seeing Ben in practice-type situations? I know yesterday he wasn't happy with some of his receivers and told them so. Has anything surprised you of how he goes about his daily business like that?
Nope. I mean, at the end of the day, our receivers made a few mistakes yesterday that Ben was unhappy with. We make a few mistakes that Ben's unhappy with. Ben makes a few mistakes that he's unhappy with. It's practice, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're ironing out. Those are the things that we're trying to get better at. And at the end of the day, it's all about communication. We may see things one way. Ben may see things another. He's been doing this 17 years. I've been doing this 7. So it's kind of hard to see things ultimately all the way that he sees it, because he's so much more experienced. But at the end of the day, it's our job to get on the same page with him, and that's just point blank, period.
Devin, you just heard Eric talk about winning trumps everything else. Is that a feeling that can trickle down to some of the younger guys on the field and be able to work out to your advantage?
Yeah, one thing about winning is winning takes care of everything. Once you win and you continuously win, it's the reason why you're winning. Obviously, it has a lot to do with your preparation and how your team feels about it, how you go about your days of the week, and how you perform on Sundays. Winning is trumps everything. It takes care of all the small things and take care of the big things too.
Let's go to Brian Backo. Brian, go ahead.
Good morning, Devin. Since the last time we talked to you on here, Ryan Shazier retired officially. So just wanted to ask you, what were the biggest things that you learned from him being around him all last season as a rookie? I don't think it's any secret that the Steelers kind of drafted you because you're a similar type of player at that position. What did he teach you, not just about on the field, like covering tight ends, receivers, but also just the work ethic that it takes to kind of have that role here?
Me and Ryan have a really good relationship. Last year he just was telling me all the stories about how he used to come in early and watch extra film and the way he studied the game and also how he played the game. Definitely relatable. Ryan's just the type of guy, he's just going to always be behind you, always going to support you in anything and everything that you do. So, he's a good mentor to me and continues to be so.
All right, let's go to Mike Prizzuta. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Devin, did you feel as if Denver was targeting you with Fant in the second half last week? And how do you feel about your capabilities in pass coverage against these big NFL tight ends?
Yeah, Fant caught two good passes. One where he scored and one where he put his kept his foot in bounds. One of those was just a busted coverage, and another one was just a great catch. I have no issues with my pass coverage abilities. I don't think they were singling me out, but they had some good catches. I mean, we are professionals. It happens from time to time. But it was a good battle, and as long as you come out with a win, I can keep getting better from there.
All right, let's go to Brooke Pryor from ESPN. Go ahead, Brooke.
Devin, when we were just talking to Ebron, he said that he can just be so confusing for defenses when he's on the field, regardless of whether or not he's being targeted. From a defensive perspective, what does a tight end like Ebron add to an offense? I mean, how confusing can it be when you have a receiving threat at tight end like that?
Versatility is the first thing. You can put Ebron inside, you put Ebron on the line, you can put Ebron out wide, backside by himself. He just poses a threat because he's a big guy that's good with his feet and good with his hands, and he gets to his spots. And he creates matchups where you gotta stay close to him or see catch the ball and gain extra 12 yards and move the chain.
All right, let's go to Christopher Carter. Christopher, go ahead.
Hey, Devin, you guys are going up against Deshaun Watson this week. You guys have faced mobile quarterbacks before, but of course, he's probably going to be the best quarterback you guys have seen so far. What have you guys done to prepare for him as far as his ability to extend plays, move about the pocket, and sometimes use his legs to beat you?
Yeah, we just focusing on containing him. Just keeping his feet, inside the pocket and making sure we are, on our keys when it comes to when Deshaun has the ball in his hands. We want to minimize all those big plays he can make with his feet.
All right, we'll go to a follow-up. Oh, Mark, did you have one?
Devin,
go ahead, Mark.
It seems like everybody on the defense is allowed to blitz except you. Do you get in Butt's ear at all and say, hey, I can do this as well? I know your role is pretty much coverage and let Vince and the other guys blitz from the inside, yeah. But are you able to do that or want to do that more?
From time to time, I get my shots. I'm definitely on Butt's head about that, every other day. But, I have no problem with it. If I'm here to cover, I'm here to cover. I'm here to blitz, I'll blitz. So.
All right. Anybody else before? Oh, all right, Brian, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, Devin, not a football question, but I don't know if anyone's asked you this. Did you cut the famous ponytail braid? And why? And is it going to come back at some point, bigger and better?
I cut it off. Yeah, it's no longer here. I cut it off days before camp. Not sure if it's gonna come back yet, but I'm definitely gonna switch my hairstyles up a lot. At this time in years to come, but right now I'm just kind of growing my hair out, just going with the flow and see where things take me right now.